Okay, fire away.
Finger guns.
Welcome back, everyone, to what's the name of the thing again?
Stuff
Things
about an issue
things and stuff with
people
on the Iron Channel.
Invincible to
Iron.
That was almost worth a redo, but we're not going to do it.
It's fun, you know it.
Yes.
Anyways, this time we're doing masculinity since last time we did femininity. What are these things? So, I guess let's start with the definition of masculinity.
Yeah, let's.
To be. Oh.
The art of manliness. No.
You have XY chromosomes.
XY, yes, of course. There's the strict biological definition.
I guess that would be male, not really necessarily masculinity, but
Adult human male. That's one definition.
okay.
But the art of being masculine, what is that? I would say it encompasses leadership, which is a trait appreciated by lots of people. The ability to lead well. Stick-to-itiveness. Perseverance, yes.
Definition 1, pertaining to or characteristic of a man.
There you go.
Yeah.
That.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
Ideally strength.
Okay. Strength, like muscular, or
I would say that and other.
what would be other?
Fortitude of spirit.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Iron.
Fortitude. I'm taking notes, you know.
Well, you should know. Iron in one's soul, right?
Yes. I would agree with that.
Unwavering, I guess, in morality, in intent. Morality. Did I say morality?
You said morality, yeah.
In values, I guess. And, okay. Technically capable.
Capable?
Technically capable.
Technically capable. Does that mean like computers? Or
Not necessarily, but, having...
How do you mean?
Well, everyone likes the person who always has the right tool for the job.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So say, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Needs solved. Okay? Does he have either the physical or... Stop that. Does he have the either physical tool that is needed for that job or the know-how to be able to accomplish whatever it is that's needing to be accomplished?
Mm-hmm.
To solve the problem.
Any kind of problem? Just.
Well, I mean, of course, there's problems that, are going to be beyond everyone, but,
Mm-hmm.
Ideally you want to, okay, car has a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
Can you fix the flat tire? Can you, or just change it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you change the wheel?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you incapable of doing such a thing and need help? Well, it's obviously more attractive to a person that this individual can solve the problem
Mm-hmm.
at hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ideal.
Totally agree with that.
There you go. So that's, do you have the wrench that's needed to actually remove the wheel?
Mm-hmm.
You want to have both the know-how and also
The tools.
hey, I have this in my back pocket, ta-da.
I've pull that tire iron out of your back pocket.
Yeah.
You got a big back pocket.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean.
So thinking ahead, I
That's
guess.
a joke that came to mind.
Okay, anything else?
So we have leadership, we have
Perseverance. I'll read the
perseverance.
list.
Yeah.
Leadership, perseverance, strength, muscular, fortitude of spirit, unwavering morality or values, capable, which is right tools, problem-solving skills, and know-how. And I put practical beside it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I say that's at least a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we really want to go down the list, what's a Boy Scout? Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Holy smokes.
Those are the traits of a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And I'd say all those could apply to making a good man.
Well, yeah. I mean, I agree.
He's trustworthy. He tells the truth.
Sorry, I'm not cheerful.
You can
I'll
fudge,
have a tire iron in my back pocket, those sorts of things.
can fudge one or two of those, you know. But trustworthy. He tells the truth. He's honest. Loyal. He sticks by his friends. Helpful. Does what he can. Courteous. Oh, I'm sorry. Friendly.
Is that different from courteous?
Courteous. I mean, some of them can kind of mean the same thing.
It's different.
Kind. I guess that's kind of in the same vein. Obedient when needed. To someone who's they're supposed to be
Respectful
obedient
of
to.
authority.
Yeah. I guess obedient to God could be in there. Cheerful. Have a good attitude. Thrifty. Takes care of finances well. Doesn't waste unnecessarily.
Not wasteful.
Brave. Kind of obvious. Clean. Takes care of his appearance.
I'm running out of paper.
Reverent. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say those combined with, because some of those can be geared, I guess, more towards Boy Scouts, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but
The Man Scout.
the
Man Scout. The Man Scout. Okay. Love that.
I think all those combined kind of paint a good picture.
Yes. I think that would be I think you mentioned being attractive.
Clean.
Do it.
Clean.
Clean.
He takes care of himself. Doesn't stink.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't look like a caveman.
Oh, come on. Some of those ladies like the cavemen.
Sure, okay,
Not me, but
whatever.
You
you're
can be
into.
clean, caveman.
Well, you ever seen
put
that
it in a
the
ponytail.
Geico commercial? Yeah.
Those were the best commercials. Why did they ever go to something else? They've gone to something else now. And I'm just like, no, man, the caveman was it. Anyway, so he was appealing. Okay, when I said attractive, I meant from the, and I can only speak for myself, that's pretty appealing. Attractive. If I saw all of those things in a male, XY chromosome, I would find that very attractive. You rarely see one that has all of that. Usually you get part of it. And I don't want to make a lump statement here, but you don't always get the respects, authority, good attitude, not wasteful, clean, attractive, loyal, courteous. You don't always get those with the leadership, unwavering, morality, fortitude of spirit, right tools, capable. All right, yeah, to get a good mix of that, somebody's mama did a really good job.
Yeah, usually it's you find one can lean more towards the respects authority or a little more rebellious side of things,
Mm-hmm.
which can go into leadership. I mean, you can have leadership on both sides, but I think more individual thinkers can be more leadership minded
Mm-hmm.
because they're more of a blazing a new trail versus people who respect authority more, that put more value in that
Mm-hmm.
bucket, will be like, okay, I'm going to follow orders no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And they're following the path laid out before them by the powers that be.
Mm-hmm.
So a good balance is needed, I guess.
Would it be a fair question to ask that how you prioritize, I'm talking from the female perspective, how we prioritize what's most important has a lot to do with our personalities.
Probably so.
So my genetic makeup and the environment I grew up in is going to determine what I place as priority in the male.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't, gosh, I'm trying to find one that I would not prioritize, because they're all good. At this point in my life, I would prioritize capable, that you're able to solve problems, because I'm tired of solving problems. And so our circumstances, I guess, that's as far as I'll go.
Hold on.
Uh-oh, here we go.
On. Are you saying that... Are you saying...
What am I saying?
That you'd rather be like, here, you do this.
Yes, very much so.
Uh-huh.
I would not abdicate 100% of the problem solving
Of course.
needs. A good 50-50 would be freaking awesome. So, yeah, I know where you're going.
Okay.
I know where you're going. And if I am aware of my weaknesses, then I would prioritize for the other person's strengths in those areas. Do you see what I mean? Like if I know my weakness is fear, I would choose somebody that was brave. I would not choose. I would prioritize that if I'm self-aware in someone else so that they could balance that. I know I'm going to be weak. I'm going to be a chicken and try to run. I want you to be strong and brave so that you can keep me from running. You can balance that. So, do you have something to say, Tal?
I'm just reminded of, it's funny, it's weird as the conversation was, like, I don't know how they got onto this conversation, but it was like, just, like lawyer folks talking and such about stuff. And somehow they got on the conversation of that sort of thing. And the guy, like, hit an interesting idea of, like, about the whole, like, submit to, like, we'll just say the submit to your husband thing. Like, his perspective on that whole thing was like, well, his big point was, submission is different to subservience. And, like, the way he thought of, like, being able to submit to your husband or whatever is, like, be, like, or at least it was like, the almost kind of like the role of the man would be to enable that, as in the, like, say the woman could come home and say, and be able to, cast off various concerns that she knows that can be taken care of by the other person or whatever. And that's kind of like the, I don't need to worry about that because I know that it can be taken care of, or something like that. That kind of submission sort of thing. I'm probably not representing, like I said, very well. I saw this years ago, but it was just reminding me of
kind of
something.
Taking confidence in the abilities of the other person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that should absolutely happen.
And it's I guess the submission kind of thing is like, it's, in that case, a good thing that you can, now I don't need to worry about this thing. Like it's, a benefit to me to be able to know that these things will be taken care of or whatever.
Yeah.
So would that be more of a like laying down of the burden? I know you
break out into song.
No. Lay my burden down. I mean, would it be like, is that the type of submission or allowance for instead of an authority issue?
I suppose. Kind of seemed like the general idea. I mean, because, this fella definitely didn't think of it in terms of like authority or power structures or whatever. He was just thinking of it as, kind of a, I guess, the weight being lifted off one's shoulders because, now again, it's like I'm just repeating myself. It's like, I don't need to worry about this thing anymore or whatever.
Well, I'm trying to think of how to word this question. When would it be safe to say that I keep just going back to strengths and weaknesses? Every individual is going to have strengths and they're going to have weaknesses. And seems to me like the ideal would be you balance those things out. If you trust God to lead you to the right person, then you're going to have, what is that lovely word? Complementarianism. That's a whole nother thing. But, you should complement each other, as in you supply strength to their weakness. They supply their strength to your weakness. And whatever those happen to be. And those are not, I'll say what they are. They are widely varied. This is a huge list of excellent qualities. But that a human is going to be deficient in several of those. Mm-hmm. And the hope would be that the spouse supplies their strength for that.
Right. Well, and also it's kind of an ideal, right? Very few people come out fresh from the box with all those strengths, with all those characteristics. A lot of those are going to be learned traits throughout their life. Like me, I'm not a natural leader. I'm a natural follower. However, in certain circumstances, I've had to train myself how to lead. It's uncomfortable for me. I don't like it. But, there's certain situations that, okay, someone's got to do it. And might as well be me.
Well, and if like I know what your strengths are, to a certain extent. I don't know all of them, but I know that like mechanics and maintenance, because for one, you just grew up that way, but for another, working at said parts store for quite a while, and then your job now, you're responsible for a lot of those things. And so that is your knowledge base, right? Okay. You should be able to lead in that knowledge base where if you start talking architecture or landscape architecture, I should lead in that conversation, or, any decision type things. based on my knowledge base. Tao, programming computers, and philosophy. He's a big philosophy dude. So it should go back and forth depending on what skills are needed at any given time. So, but when it comes to, let's just jump back to the attractiveness, as in, attracting a female or a skunk. I don't know, whatever you're wanting to attract. But
Pepe Le Pew joke there.
Yes, it was. That's an old folk joke. Pepe Le Pew.
He'd get canceled nowadays.
Oh, he would, but he was awesome. Yeah. Okay, cartoon skunk for you young people. That was just adorable. Anyway, and he was a what would you call those? He was a player. That's what we would call him. But
He was a French romantic.
a French romantic. There you go. He was just
Johnny Bravo would be the player.
Yeah, that's right.
okay. Yeah, you got me there. Yes, this is true. Instead of, the way the thoughts running around in my brain, I'm responsible for what I choose, right? So I need to be aware of what I'm looking for, what I respect more in a male than anything else. But it seems to me like the male, they should be thinking that in a female they pick, but the male should be analyzing himself, see what his strengths are, keep those, but work on any of the lesser beasts that need to be incorporated. And obviously, if your goal in life is to find you a woman, you might need to think about the things that would be largely appealing. So obviously, largely appealing would be loyal. So if you're
Pretty
not,
basic one,
yeah, that's pretty important. Some women don't care if you're courteous or not. They don't care if you're a gentleman. It's just not what appeals to them. They'd rather go play in the mud or, whatever. They have different priorities. So what would you work on if you had to, if you were thinking about it from that perspective?
I guess it depends on the person. Are you talking about like me particularly?
Yeah, you particularly.
Well, let me see that list.
Okay, there's my list.
What could I use improvement in?
That's a hard question for Adrian because he's awesome.
I suppose. Well, for one, I could get to the gym more often, so strength. Leadership, being decisive in decision making. I tend to be more of a go with the flow kind of. Oh, what do you think? What do you think? I don't know. Someone asked me where do you want to go to eat? Oh, I don't know. What sounds good to you? Trying to be differential to their
right.
Their, where they want to go to eat, versus making a decisive decision. Even them saying, "I'm okay with anywhere you want." Well, I'm considering what they want. So versus just, no, we're going here. Since you asked. So being decisive in leadership. Naturally, I respect authority. I've learned not to. So that...
Not to respect authority?
Well, okay.
You better explain that one. I know what you mean.
I respect proper
authority.
Authority, yes. I respect God. I respect people who demonstrate good leadership. And, have earned that authority.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Legitimate authority.
Goes back into leadership. The Air Force defines leadership as the art of influencing or directing people in a way that will win their obedience, confidence, respect, and loyal cooperation in achieving a common objective or goal.
Holy smokes! Can we write that down? That'd
Sure.
be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll pull it off the video. But yeah, wow.
That's how the Air Force defines it. So that's the more I've thought about it over the years, the more I've thought that's a really good way of saying, and in every aspect of one's life, in your family, in your wife, win their obedience, confidence, and respect, and loyal cooperation in achieving a common objective or goal. That doesn't sound like, thumb on the, or being authoritarian. That sounds like we're being a boss.
That's not boot camp.
Right. That's not being a boss. That's, that can be if your drill instructor earns your respect. If it's like,
not the kind that's hollering curses at you and being ugly and aggressive and
follow me.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And I'll lead the way. And everyone's like, I will die for this man. I will follow him anywhere because you respect him. Right. So earn someone's respect.
Or her.
Of course. Sure. But it's that kind of feeling after a rousing speech. Like, I will go to hell and back with this person. Right. Even though you've never known them. You're like, yeah. So that's what leadership can be. And I think respects authority has that person rallied the people they're trying to lead behind them. And so they can respect their authority. And that's how you drive people to achieve what you want them to achieve. Right.
You influence them.
Influence them.
Tao. What you got to work on?
A lot.
A lot?
Probably.
Okay, then here's the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Girl Scout instead of Man Scout. Woman Scout.
Okay.
We'll call it Woman Scout.
Excellent cookies. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Let me smack you.
Not lying.
Girl Scout cookies are good. Yes. No, woman Scout cookies, not so good. At least not mine. You don't want mine. Okay, this was what I was hearing while you were, giving your list. Would you not agree that women need to be capable of leadership? They need to have perseverance. They need to have strength. They need to have fortitude of spirit. They need unwavering morality and values. They need to be capable with the right tools, problem-solving skills, and know-how, practically. They need to be honest. They need to be loyal, helpful, courteous, friendly, kind, respects authority, good attitude, not wasteful, brave, and be clean and attractive.
Of course. However, I think it looks different in both men and women.
How so? How's that?
And it's going to be hard to quantify, especially in words. But I think everyone deep down knows that it's going to look different in men and women. The value, the look, and not just physical appearance, but how one carries himself as a man that you really respect, and a woman who you really respect, they don't look the same. And it's hard to put into words, but it just is. And everyone, I think, knows it.
I'm trying to poke holes in your statement, so pardon me while I think. Okay, could it be said that there are women who are aggressive leaders that lose their femininity? And then there are female leaders who lead without that aggressiveness, without the That's really the best word I can think of. Without that, I'm going to get in your face and I'm just going to yell and scream at you. Like the boot camp version. We're going to call it the boot camp version.
Mhm.
There are women that can lead like that, and some people may respect that and follow that, and some will object to that. There are some females that lead with more of leadership, like legitimate leadership skills, influence. I mean, that whole thing you just said about, for a common cause, and you inspire people to get behind you and support you and follow your leading, do what you ask them to do. Not going to use the word obedience because it just has a whole flavor of its own that everybody goes, rah,
And then the feminism comes out.
Yeah, the red eyes and the
Yeah.
horns come out. Obedience isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
It's, do you do what is asked of you? Now, and this is aggressive leadership may demand obedience. Okay, well, that's not my style. My style is I'm going to inspire you such that if I ask, can you do this? They're like, absolutely, and they're gone. They're doing what you need done because they trust you that it will be for a common purpose and it will have good fruit in the end. There will be a good result. And
so in such a way that they don't have to ask why.
Right. They just know. They just and that's the leader's responsibility. That is the person who, you can call it in charge, but the person who is actually worthy of following, you don't have to ask why because you already know. You trust the integrity and the honesty and the loyal and all these things, because you've seen that already in them, and you just go. And that, to me, that is an excellent form of leadership. And it doesn't actually matter if it's male or female. Men can lead with an aggressive attitude such that some people will follow them. That either that's just what they're used to or that's what they need, but they don't. I don't think that aggressive style of leadership engenders long-term loyalty. You're just a puppet, more or less. Not a puppet. I'm not using the right word. Well, okay, we'll just leave it at some people need that. Then there are men who lead with what I consider to be proper and most effective leadership, which is you live such that those people know the purpose, they know your integrity, they know your intent is best, what's best for them, something that will actually improve them. And then they'll follow you.
Yeah.
I don't consider that to be aggressive leadership. That's influence leadership.
Well, I think also it's received differently from men and women. So say there have been plenty of instances when the aggressive type of leadership has been used to great effect by certain individuals in men when the same energy may not have been well received from a woman. Example, George Patton.
Okay.
Old Blood and Guts.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very opinionated person. He would yell. He was prone to yelling fits to get what he wanted. He was very outspoken and very brash, kind of go get him, sort of person. And that's how he got what he wanted. He also was very loyally followed by his troops because he was a very aggressive sort of person. Go get him. And they knew that he had their back. That said, swap it for a woman, I think that would have come off very badly. It just wouldn't have been well received. It would have come off as bossy or and it's not anyone's fault. It's just the appearance of it would not have translated well. So I think people need to be aware of how they come off to others.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's not always going to be fair. They can act this way because that's just kind of the person they are. And people know it and it works for them. I can't act the same way because, be it subtle nuances in my personality or how I deliver it, it's not going to work for me. It's going to make people mad. So I think that sort of follows over to men and women.
Well, and I think when you want to talk about, generalities, I do understand that women generally are more relational. Men are more practical, and that's in general. That is not individually. But I can agree that the aggressive style of leadership, for my personality, it would be like, hell no, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. But it's because I have a very strong sense of individual authority. Each of us have a certain level. Well, each of us primarily are responsible for ourselves. We have authority over ourselves. And then we can delegate that authority. We can take a piece of that authority and hand it over to a leader. But that's a choice on my part. And so once I've chosen to hand that authority over to another person, then I should, if I am loyal or, I have integrity, I'm going to do what that person asks. But for someone over there to scream at me and tell me, do what I tell you to do, my individual authority would go, the whole cat claws thing would come out. So maybe more personality, based rather than male, female individually. But generally, I understand that
delivery is important.
Delivery is important. Knowing your audience is important, like you said in a different way, but knowing your audience is important, and knowing where you should be involved and where you should not be involved. I should never go to work for a person like that because I won't respond well. And this is something I learned a long time ago, but volunteerism, a good test of your leadership skills is volunteerism, because they don't have to be there. There's no money exchanged. It's all influence. And if you, depending on your style of leadership, determines whether you retain your employees or your volunteers or not. So you have to learn deep leadership skills.
Well, like literally volunteers.
Literal volunteers.
I thought you meant like volunteerism isn't like the social, like libertarianism, volunteerism.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, literal volunteers.
Okay.
If we'll use a thrift shop that's run by volunteers. You have a leader. There's no money exchange. They're not bound to you. Of course, even if there's money exchange, they're still not bound to you. But it's a whole special set of skills to be able to keep volunteers involved and supportive of what you're doing and them willing to follow you. Because there's no motivation other than influence and goodwill. If you can get that and translate it to working in a corporate environment or a different environment, then you're almost unbeatable, because those people will follow you, even if they are employees. So anyway, that has influenced the way I've tried to understand leadership for a long time. So I'm not saying I'm any good at it. I'm just saying I studied it. There's a difference. But anyway, okay. So is there anything else do you have anything else you want to talk about masculinity?
As far as defining it? No. Oh, sorry.
No, you too, but I'm warning him. He's next on the question. Tal?
No.
No? There's just no? Okay, well, I'm gonna throw out one question, and then it's probably time. I personally know several individuals that are excellent men, but they do not have strength, like muscular strength. Even the fortitude of spirit it's like they want to be, but they don't have it. And their values are great. They're good men, like I said, but they have a different kind of strength. And they don't really look like this list so much. They don't want to lead. Their strength may be in perseverance, but their strength may be their brains, brilliance. Their strength may be philosophical or indoor stuff, the world would not perceive them as super masculine, but they're the best men I know. And so what do you do with that?
Well, it looks different in a lot of people. Of course, this is the height of, if you were to embody this, it's like Superman or Captain America. It's, no one's going to be every one of those things.
Yeah.
But, or Jesus himself. Right. But, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And a lot of those things are learned traits, like I said. You pick which ones you want to focus on. And some are more naturally available to some people, some are not. I'm not the strongest guy in the world. I endeavored to be. I'm never going to get there, but I endeavor to be as strong as I'm physically capable of being. And I'm not going to achieve that either. But, and there's certain things that if you're focusing on other traits, maybe those are down the road. Maybe those are okay. We're doing okay in those departments. Develop them later. Or if one's okay with where they're at in that department, okay, no worries. Everyone's going to have a stat level that's going to look different. And as long as of course, there is no good person, but if you try and be as good of a person as you can be, right? I think it's going to look something like Boy Scout values.
You can aspire to some of these other things, but
yeah,
I really hate it that our culture looks at people whose lifestyles don't have. I hate it that our culture looks at men who are not the, I used to lump it all in the football player syndrome. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just because that was just grew up with, there's buff, usually dumb in my sphere. But they focused more on the physical outward, manly men. And they look at what is not that. They look at this person and they're studious or artistic or, they had all the honest, loyal, helpful, friendly, all those things. But because they weren't the culture's version of manly, they would start name calling and saying that they're less of a man than this other person. And where instead of saying that, It should have been recognized that there are personality differences, there are skill differences. My skill puts me in front of a computer a lot. And I also get to go outside, but I don't like that part. I want to be in front of the computer. That makes me look different than someone who, wants to go out and be very active, a tennis player or something else.
Mm-hmm.
But to pigeonhole, I think that's how we got where we are now with the confusion about identities and all of that. We stopped recognizing that these are giftings, personality issues, environmental issues. These are not whether their chromosomes are screwed up.
Yeah.
And it's male and female. I mean, the female, we fall prey to it. If I don't have a very perfect shape and all my teeth are, then I'm a hillbilly instead of really smart, when we stop thinking about the individual and start lumping people into these collective morass, I guess that's a strange word for it, but we forget to give them credit for who they are and the skills that they do have and not get it mixed up with some delusion or confusion, but just leave it as that person is unique and they have gifts. Find them, encourage them in that. And then the weaknesses, try to help. If that doesn't work, let them be. They're responsible for themselves. And I'm responsible for me. So
I think 2 tracks of thought there. Reducing a man or a woman down to just their physical traits.
mm-hmm.
And I don't mean physical isn't like chromosomes. I mean physical isn't like appearance-wise.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You can become a woman by putting on a dress.
Right.
You can become a man by chopping off your hair and chopping things off. No, that's not how this... You can look... People have done a great job sometimes of fooling people.
Mm-hmm.
You can get pretty darn close appearance-wise, but you don't have the entirety of what it means to be a man or a woman,
right.
Respectively. If you don't have the chromosomes, the body that God placed each of these people into, each of these spirits into, it's going to be just appearances.
Mm-hmm.
And appearances is not everything.
Right.
Now, a lot of these traits overlap between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, both would have all these traits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't want to really get involved with a female bodybuilder, but
that'd be kind of scary.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to ever get involved with a man that's a bodybuilder. I'm
fair
like,
enough. Okay.
Yeah, ooh. There's all sorts of intimidation and potential damage, and I just don't think it's attractive.
Technically, when you're pregnant, you're a bodybuilder.
Yes. Your human submarine.
That was a good one.
But, yeah. So it's not just physical traits; it's also other traits as well. On the jock side of things, like the football sort of.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Okay, he might look like the all-American, standard,
Mm-hmm.
but by demeaning others and being that stereotype of meathead, how many of those traits, of the Boy Scout traits at least, is he not embodying? Is he giving up to demean the person who's not a jock, who's not an athlete?
Yes.
He's not living up to. He's not being courteous. He's not being kind.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not being cheerful or friendly.
Mm-hmm.
He's not being loyal.
Good attitude.
To his own.
Definitely not being helpful.
Yeah, not being helpful or reverent.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trading.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah, he's trading value on physical strength for all those other traits, along with probably some of the other ones we mentioned before that aren't on the Boy Scout list. He's not being a good leader of his community, because naturally those guys are probably going to be the leaders.
Unless he's their quarterback, then he's the leader.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be people have monkey brains, right? The tallest is probably going to be the president someday. You're not probably going to have a short guy leading everyone else because it's just how we're wired.
Mm.
So naturally, that guy's probably going to be a popular guy in school if he's in school, and people are going to be following him. He needs to lead them well and demonstrate, hey, be kind to people, be kind to those around you. Just because you can't shove them in the locker doesn't mean you should. And they have value in their own ways.
Yeah.
The valedictorian, he's a smart dude. You know, give him respect for that.
Yep.
He's assuming he's living the values of a man. He's every bit of a man as the quarterback is. Assuming the quarterback is also living the values.
Yeah. And I don't mean to pigeonhole the football players either. I know that's just as bad. They can lead properly, and if they lead properly, good deal.
Look at what his name, the guy who's famous for kneeling, Christian, Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
There you go.
He seems like a very excellent.
Yes, you can be
at least from
be
afar.
a jock. But in high school, the jocks were, at least in my generation, generally they were the bullies. And because they were big enough to be bullies. So that's why it embedded in my head, you know, don't be a jock. Of course, it also has to do with my preferences. You know, I prefer someone with a bigger brain than bigger muscles.
Very Homo sapien.
Yes, very much so. It's a survival
Tall
of the brain fittest.
Fitness is just, well, their fitness in terms of the survival of the fittest thing. Fitness is just the ability to survive. I mean, it's not physical stuff only. It's just those who are most fit are those that are able to thrive in their environment.
Figure out the tools
whatever
that need.
That might be.
Yeah. Figure out the tools that are needed and use them.
Yeah.
The first
capable.
The first monkey to pull out a stick and stick in the anthill and get some ants to eat. He won. He had the meal.
He won because he had the food.
Yeah.
And that's why in the kind of evolutionary ideas, some people think that who misunderstand it think that everything should be converging on one final everything I'm the fittest for everything or whatever. But it's like no, but unless you're exposed to every potential environment, then you're not going to be able to thrive in every environment. But it's that general idea of that which is most fit in the tundra is not going to be fit at all in the rainforest. So it's all depending on your environment. It's just whatever circumstances you're dealing with. If you fitness is just the ability to thrive in that environment, whatever environment that may end up being.
Happens to be.
Ladies, you don't need a tan. You are perfectly suited for Norway.
Okay. Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
We should be. Otherwise, your wife's going to be mad at us.
Thank you for watching the Iron Channel. IronCast. That's what you call IronCast.
Oh, we should call this an IronCast. Okay, we're officially changing the name. It's not about an issue, it's IronCast.